Hi class, Mrs. Calvi here. I want to do a quick review on dividing multi-digit numbers with a fraction remainder. So instead of just having a remainder, I want your answer to be in fraction form. So let's go through this one. So 24 does not go into 7, it goes in 0 times. All right. So now I'm looking at 24 going into 78. 24 goes into 78 3 times. Okay, and 24 times 3 is going to give me 72. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to be left with 6. Drop down my other 6. 24 goes into 66 2 times. And 2 times 24 is 48. When I subtract 48 from 66, I'm going to have 18 remaining. So normally you would say your answer is 32, remainder 18. But we don't want to use remainders in middle school. If anything, we want it to be in fraction form. So you would put your answer as 32 and 18 out of your divisor number. So your numerator is going to be your remainder, what you're left with, and your denominator is going to be your divisor. Okay, so 32 and 18 24ths. Now, if you can simplify the fraction part, you should be simplifying. And I noticed that 18 and 24 are both even, so I know these are both divisible by 2, so I know I can simplify my answer. So let's go ahead and start simplifying, just so we can practice that. So right now my answer is 32 and 18 24ths. I'm going to simplify. I'm going to divide both by 2 because I know I can cut them in half. Now, you may see that, well, 18 and 24 are both divisible by 6. And if you divide both by 6, you'll get to your simplified answer even quicker. Okay, so if you know your multiplication facts, go ahead. You don't always have to do it by 2 if it's divisible by 2. So here, I want to remember to carry over my whole number because most students, one thing they do is they forget about the whole number. So now 18 divided by 2 gives me 9, and 24 divided by 2 gives me 12. So now I still need to simplify 9/12 down because that is not in simplest form. They're not divisible by 2 anymore, but they are divisible by 3. Both 9 and 12 are divisible by 3. So I'm going to come down here so I have more room. I'm going to first carry over my whole number of 32. 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. And this is my final answer in simplest form. Okay, so when I actually did the division, I got 32 and 18 24ths, but you should always simplify the fraction if you can. And in this case, you would get 32 and 3/4. All right, let's try another one. Okay, 35 does not go into 2. It goes into 2 0 times, so I'm putting my 0 for a placeholder. 35 does not go into 26, so I'm going to put 0 as a placeholder. So now I'm looking at 35 going into 265. Well, it goes in 7 times, and 35 times 7 gives me 245. I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to be left with 20. So I would normally say I have a remainder of 20, but remember, I want to put it in fraction form. So here, instead of saying remainder 20, we are going to write it as 7 and 20 35ths. Now, we need to see if we can simplify 20 over 35. Well, 20 and 35, they meet the 5 rule. Remember, a number is divisible by 5 if it ends in a 0 or a 5. And it just so happens my numbers end in a 0 and a 5. So I know I can divide these by 5 to simplify them down. Okay? So I'm going to drop down my whole number of 7. I'm going to do 20 divided by 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. And 35 divided by 5 is going to give me 7. And it just so happens I cannot simplify 4/7 any further, so my final answer is 7 and 4/7. All right? So now remember, in Middle school, we will not be using remainders. We will be using fraction form, all right? So basically our final answer will be in as a mixed number. The only time where we're looking at remainders is those word problems that we were doing, where we had to decide whether we were dropping our remainder or we were bumping our answer up by 1 due to the remainder based on what the word problem was asking, all right? So this is it for now, and I will talk to you guys soon.